Thank you, Dr. Bakshi. Mr. Venkatesan.
Yeah, the specific question was what exactly is financial inclusion? To my mind, financial inclusion is giving a product to a person who is not having a product knowledge, identifying what exactly is the product requirement for that person, advising him on that, offering him it at a convenient way, wherever in a, maybe 15 minutes or at the doorstep or somewhere nearby. And it can be charged reasonably. It should not be a free service, it should be a paid service. Today people are willing to pay for service. The crux to the issue is it should come from a formal financial institution. When I say a formal financial institution, it need not be a bank, it can be even an NBFC MFI or an NGO MFI. It should be a product suitable for that person who really needs it. It can be savings, credit, insurance, anything of that sort, or whatever. It can be a range of products. It should be off the shelf, readily available, not that I have to structure something and come back to you. It should be readily available. It should be delivered at the most convenient way, very near to him, probably at the doorstep or somewhere in the same village. And it should not be charged beyond a reasonable level. The cost that the customer has to bear should not be not more than what he should reasonably bear. This I would like to defend. This is my own definition. When the madam asked this question, I was thinking in my mind, what is financial inclusion? Is it a zero balance account? Is it an AREGA payment account? No, I think this is what it should be. In that sense, if you look, a loan given by an MFI is a financial inclusion. We cannot say that that's nothing. The zero balance account is a financial inclusion. That 5,000 rupee loan, if you don't count it as a financial inclusion, I think it's a wrong approach. It's my own definition.
One quick supplementary to you, this issue of privatization of RRBs or private banking role, there was some anxiety that LABs were started, private sector did not come forward in the same way. I don't know if you have any perspective on this, but there's some anxiety that if you look at the evidence of private banking, it has very quickly gravitated to urban areas, very quickly gravitated to serve not necessarily profitable. Your Nariman Point branch, 80% of the customers are losing you money. But somehow that seems like the natural place to go rather than any comment you have?
See, as an LAB, we admire KBS very much. We also know there are 2-3 LABs which are on the saving space, having significant deposit at much more progressive Punjab and all that. I think it was a good model. I don't know why it failed. Probably this is a model worth reviving. I mean, a complementary player to RRBs in the private sector space. If you talk about privatizing RRBs or changing them, there could be resistance. Now, one of the problems I see with RRBs are they are all having a unionized staff and they are paid equal to almost the public sector. This is a big issue. So, some of the RRBs which are well managed are very successful, but there are pathetic RRBs also. But I think LAB is a viable model. Probably, it's again, Dr. Nachiket asked this question, I was thinking probably LAB is co-promoted by private sector banks and public sector banks along with private promoters. Something of that sort. That will be an alternate delivery channel. It will be a low-cost delivery channel. It will be nearer to the customer. Probably it can do wonders and it can be regulated the same way as a commercial bank is regulated. This could be one of the complementing factors. I don't think such an entity alone can do all these things. It could be one of the complementing factors.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Vasudevan.
Financial inclusion to me would mean the ability for the 600 million people that we are talking of to do exactly what we are doing ourselves. You go to a bank, you want to open a simple savings account or a deposit account, you want normal, simple remittance products, or you want a loan, and a loan at a time that you choose to take and for an amount that you want really to meet your business or your personal requirements. Whereas currently even on the minimalistic loan that we are actually talking of, we are talking of a loan where we club them together and we give a loan at a time that we choose. I just happened to go to this village today, so I want to give a loan to everybody within the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. It's not material that at that point in time those clients may or may not need that loan. So even access to loan at a time when they need it and for an amount that they really need and not the standard fixed group loan that we end up giving. So financial inclusion to me would really mean very simple, just putting ourselves into their shoes. And whatever we are currently experiencing in our life, the ability for the balance 600 million to also experience the same thing.
So thank you very much for a wonderful panel discussion. I would not try to summarize this discussion. Clearly, you've seen a lot of debate back and forth on what will work, what will not work. The message I'm taking away is that clearly there is a need for some more work on the ground at the front end.